Hi guys, welcome back. In this episode, I'm going to show you how we made this monkey whirligig. Alright, so we're ready to start making the body. So for the main body section and the head, we're going to be using our 3/4. And for all of our moving parts, we're going to go with 3/8, and that's mainly just to keep the weight down. To fix these down, we're just using spray mount. After a lot of cutting, we have all of our pieces cut out. This will kind of give you an idea of, how it'll move. And then this one we're going to mount stationary. The head will get mounted stationary, so the tail will move. And then this will link up to the arm here. So when the arm goes up, this leg will go up too. So now that we have all of our pieces kind of roughed out, then we can start by drilling all of our pivot points. Alright, all of these were just loosely glued down, so they're pretty easy to get up here. Alright, we have all of our pieces sanded, and for as much as I enjoy sanding, I don't, so out in the yard 20 feet away from where you're standing looking at it, it'll look just fine. So I wouldn't get too hung up on sanding out all the nicks and stuff. It's probably fine. But if that's what you're into, just keep on sanding. Alright, so for the face, we don't want to lose the detail when we pull this off and then try to have to figure it out. So what we're doing is just taking an old screwdriver, or use a nail or anything, and just basically trace. The idea is to put a dent in the wood, at which point then you can come back through later when you paint and you'll have an idea of roughly where these lines need to be. So we should be able to peel this back. Real quick and fill it into so the head and this leg here are not going to be moving, so before we paint we're going to glue these guys in place. I've already made a line here to see about where I want it to sit, so Alright, so all of our parts and pieces are painted, and we have 2 coats of heavy coats of polyurethane on here. So at this point we're ready to start assembling. So we're going to add in these bushings into the legs to add some wearable parts. So we have to drill out these holes to fit these bushings, so that is something smooth to slide in. And we'll do the mating part here with these other bushings, and that should give us a pretty good wear point. Alright, so then we're ready to join these after our holes are all drilled out. So this leg I'm going to mount behind. And that's one joint down. Alright, so we have everything roughly assembled, and I think how we're going to link these guys up is, for this side I'm going to do a single crank and then connect this knee to like this arm somewhere. So then as this arm goes up and down, so does this knee. And then on this side we're going to do 2 offset cranks, so then as this arm is going up, the tail is going down. Give us some motion, something like that. Here we have a piece of copper wire that's same length as our steel wire, and we're just going to use this to hand bend up about where our bends are going to be for the crank here. It's a lot easier to work in the copper and figure everything out and then try to copy it for the steel. So that Alright, I think we can work with that. That end, yeah, should be pretty close. So, we have the crank built, and the piece of wire that I have wasn't long enough, so we ended up just adding a bolt on the end, which actually should help out better for mounting our propeller up front. And we also put a bolt on the end to just kind of extend that too. I just didn't feel like driving to the hardware store for a piece of wire, so but now I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to make the branch shape that mounts the head here and then also has pivot space for the main crank here, and I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet. This might be a time to get a cup of coffee and think about how to go about doing this. So after a lot of thinking and planning, I came up with nothing. So I just started cutting out some pieces, making big pieces, small pieces, and this is what we came up with, and I think this will work pretty well. Before I cut out the profile here, I routed a slot in the back. So our crank, we'll end up putting some bushings in here, and then this will spit in the back. So something like that. And I think that'll work for us. So then what we'll do is we'll start painting on this, make it look loggish. Alright, so we have the crank mounted in the back here, and this is just bushings that are cut and wedged in there, but it allows it to spin freely. So then to hold these parts in, we just made these little aluminum brackets, drilled some holes in them, and then these just get screwed in. Alright, now we're ready to mount the monkey on the face. So we have the head just screwed into the back there, and that'll hold it in place pretty well. Alright, now that we have this all mounted where we needed to, now we can start working on our wires here. And for the wire there, we're just going to use an old coat hanger here. Got a hammer and an anvil, and then we'll cut this into our sections. Then to make our loop end, I'm just going to clamp it on in this case we're using a 1/4 bolt, and just bend it around. Alright, so now that we have this wire cut here, and then we'll just crimp that over the top. We're going to start with this position in the lowest position and the arm here in the lowest position that we want it. And I think this wire, we're going to go somewhere right in the middle of the paw here. So what we'll do is just kind of mark out where we want our first bend to be. We need about a 1/2 inch for the thickness of the hand. And then, let's say another 1/4 inch for the up return. Then that'll go through a hole in the hand, which we can drill out. Alright, there, looks good. And we don't need it that big, so I'm just trim a little bit off here. Should be good. Thanks for watching, and if you found this helpful, hit that subscribe button.